Finally, the time has come. This is the moment we've all been waiting for. The aerial showdown is about to begin. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome to the stage, Samantha Abernathy. Ladies and gentlemen, next up, Daniel Negreanu.
My God, this is great. Take that, Hellmuth. He's on the burger diet. My God.
Shredded Negreanu would do better, that one. And with that, so ladies and gentlemen, we welcome in. This is No Gamble, No Future. I am Jeff Platt. He is Brent Hanks, a father of now 3
Bingo,
boys.
baby.
Congratulations
Thank you, my
to
man.
you and Liz.
Appreciate it.
Got little Jonathan Allen Hanks.
I tried so hard for Joshua Allen,
I'm sure you
this
did.
guy right here. If the Bills had won the Super Bowl, we had a bet. We had an agreement. We were going to name him Joshua Allen.
Oh, so you were close.
Yeah, but I think she just had been listening to too much Nick Wright and knew that Buffalo was drawing dead.
That's the baby gift. That's not a gift for you. That's a gift from me to the baby.
A gift for eBay and eventually a gift for me, buddy.
Please, well, don't sell that one off. All right, Joey Ingram joining us in just a minute. First off, what's coming up in the show? Our Masters recap, kind of brutal for us. Our Masters cards, kind of brutal for us. Punt of the week, and never a doubt. We encourage you to like and to subscribe. Thank you all so much for joining us on our YouTube channel. We do have a Facebook page as well. And I want, Brent, you to model this beautiful hoodie. I mean, look at that.
Are you kidding me right now,
look
Jeff?
at
Look at
that.
this sucker, huh? We finally have No Gamble, No Future hoodies. We're going to have hats in stock. We've got stickers. Jeff, we've got it all. You want to get it? Where can they find it, Jeff?
Shop.pokergo.com.
I
One
can
more
remember
time.
that.
That is shop.pokergo.com.
Yeah.
Get your hoodies, get your hats, get your stickers, all the good stuff. All right, we have proclaimed this fight night on No Gamble, No Future. We're coming off the weekend that was WrestleMania. We have some big UFC fights coming up, some big boxing bouts approaching, and of course, we have poker rivalries. So who better to join us on fight night than the king of the ring himself, the Dana White of poker,
The Don King of poker,
Don King,
Jeff. Yes.
that's good. Maybe the Bruce Buffer of poker after that intro on Major Wager.
Let me hear it, Joey. Come on, give us like a let's get ready to rumble sort of thing. Let's get fired up, man.
You guys are firing me over that intro. You guys are whipping out. I remember shooting that show. We had us dressed up. I was cracking the whip at Sam Abernathy and Dan Negreanu. They were doing some golfing. They did some trapeze acting. But yeah, what's going on, guys? I like these nicknames. What are these new names? Don King, Dana White. What was the other one?
You, man. I went Bruce Buffer
Howard
just because
Stern,
of that
maybe.
scene.
Yeah.
Howard Stern,
Yeah.
You've liked that one for a
I
while.
like that one.
I think it's all encompassing, Joey, when it comes to you and to the poker world. Speaking of the poker world, Poppy, we've seen every single poker rivalry imaginable pop up over these last couple months. It seems. Are these rivalries good for the game, in your opinion? Why or why not?
So which one you want to talk about first, right? 'Cause we kind of had like Hellmuth and Negreanu where they were kind of going back and forth, and I don't know how those two still have the energy to go back and forth, guys. On Twitter, they went back and forth. You guys rescheduled the event. It kind of ruined the back and forth those two kind of had going on there. But I think it was still a great event. Seems like the fans really enjoyed it as well too. So, I don't know what the hell is going on in poker. I think Dan Negreanu and Doug Polk really fired up a bunch of people. A bunch of people got a bit jealous. Maybe they're not getting the spotlight. They're not getting the attention. They got to come back out of the woodworks, throw some challenges out there. So I think people, they're fired up. They're hungry. They've been playing a lot of online poker. We got live poker opening back up. We got World Series coming back. We got shows coming back. So I feel like people are just a little bit on the edge, and they're ready to see some violence, man. They're ready to see some people battling out at poker, and I think that's kind of what we're seeing. We're seeing the jockeying for position, who's going to play who's going to be where, who's going to be battling. Is Bryn Kenney going to put up $25 billion and play someone? Like, what the fuck is this guy doing, right? I don't know.
I'm so glad you went there, man. Like, Brent just kind of came out of nowhere and just started taking shots left and right, calling out Hellmuth, and then he and Jungle Man, they're going back and
Galfond a
forth.
little.
Phil Galfond, Bryn, criticized the website of Run It Once, and then Phil Galfond's like, what the fuck? I mean, everyone just seems to be trying to play heads up, trying to say, I'm the king. In your opinion, Joey, I know this is a hard question, but out of all these names, Daniel, Hellmuth hasn't lost a match. Bryn, the all-time winningest player. Ivy is just Ivy. Like, who's really the king? I mean, who's wearing the cape?
Yeah, I mean, I think it's going to depend on who you ask and what their perception of the poker world is. With these challenges, like, let's say you're not a fan of poker, or you're like a casual fan, and you turn on Poker Go and you see Dan Negreanu versus Phil Hellmuth in a nice, beautiful stage like the duel, you might then have the perception that these two are two of the top players, right? Well, who is that true? Most likely it's not true, right? Dan Negreanu just got done paying for the Doug Polk coaching course that those two had that challenge kind of going on. And Hellmuth, I mean, this fucking guy's a genius, right? This guy he's friends with all these tech guys, so he always keeps his name out there. He's got these great investments that he picks up tips from these other investors. Who knows they're good or bad? Who fucking knows what's really going on out there, guys, right? But the perception that you have if you're like a fan is like, oh, Phil Hellmuth must be like the top player. He won a heads-up sit-and-go against Dan Negreanu. So I don't necessarily think that really tells too much. I think we know Phil Hellmuth, if you're around the poker world for 30 years and still want to play and still able to compete, like you gotta, I mean, an incredible passion and love and desire for either attention or the game or both. So I think that maybe we need to see some different system in place to be able to determine who are the good players or who the best players. But, I don't know what exactly that looks like or how that would go. I think right now we just have some spectacles that are fun for fans to really watch. And maybe we can figure out a system in place where two players can battle, and then we can maybe see who is the best player. And normally that takes more hands being played, like we saw with Doug Polk versus Dan Negreanu. But that takes 3 months. So we got to find some sort of in between that's like, okay, how can we see two players compete against each other and figure out who might the better player be? And does it really matter if we figure out who the better player is? Because, who cares? I mean, I don't know. So it kind of depends on the way you look at it.
What are your thoughts? Let's go back to Brent for a minute, Joey. I am very, very curious here. He sort of, I thought he was pretty nasty, and he did apologize to Galfond for the way that he stated some things about Run It Once and whatnot. But he's the all-time winningest poker player with $60 million in earnings. But yet, I think it's pretty fair to say when you go outside of the hardcore poker audience, no one, the casuals, they don't know who Bryn Kenney is. Would you agree with that? And if you are Bryn Kenney, what does he need to do to put himself out there more so that he is recognized as, the all-time greatest or winningest player in poker?
This is exactly what he's got to do, Brent. And unfortunately, it's not going to be possible. But he's got to go back to 2004, and he's got to sign with either Poker Stars or Full Tilt. Then he has to use that sponsorship with Poker Stars and Full Tilt to get himself on ESPN and be broadcast on ESPN for the next 10 to 20 years. And then that will be able to catch up to the household recognition from Hellmuth and Dan Negreanu. Because those guys
I'm with you there. But let me cut you off for 1 second, because this is going to now transition into a guy like Jason Kuhn.
Okay.
These guys don't play bracelet events. Bryn shows up for the 50K, the one drop, and maybe the main event. Jason Kuhn. These guys aren't getting out of bed, coming out, trying to play on TV tables all the time. I have a gripe there with a lot of these guys. We can ridicule and point fingers at Poker Stars and Full Tilt. Oh, they got deals. They're out there on ESPN. But the fact of the matter is, they put themselves out there. They play in all the events. They go after bracelets. They know where the TVs are and the major networks are filming. So why aren't these high rollers doing the same thing if they really want to be known as someone like Phil Hellmuth or Daniel Negreanu?
I mean, I don't know, man. I just think it's a lot harder than it sounds. It's real hard to put yourself out there for this constant attention, this constant scrutiny. I mean, maybe you're Bryn Kenney, you wake up 1 or 2 days and you're like, yeah, I'm going to go battle against people and be put down and insulted and battle back and forth over text mess, like Twitter. It's kind of I don't know. I don't think anyone wants to be doing that with their life if they're living a successful life, really. So unless you're getting paid to put on some type of show or some shit like that, which is what we see a lot of these other sports do, esports and even UFC, they're trying to drive sales and attention for their brand and for the upcoming fight that they kind of have going on. So I think if these guys really care about it, right, they need to understand, well, how do I get myself out there? How do I show my story? And then you got to realize it just takes a long time for you to do that, and you got to do it consistently. And Daniel, Negreanu, and Hellmuth have been doing this consistently for 15 to 20 years. So you're right. They did seek out the attention. They sought that out as well, too, but they also found the right partners to be able to do that.
Joey makes a great point in that UFC, for example, is handling the marketing of their young stars, and they're putting them through the Dana White Contender Series into Fight Night, and they're building stories and they're building packages around this. So Brent, do you think, since poker does not have that company that will rally behind certain players unless they have those ambassador type deals, do you think that it's on the player themselves, that it's on the Bryn Kenneys of the world to say, I just have to put myself out there at the World Series of Poker because that's where all the exposure
I don't
lies?
think there's a choice, Jeff. And I mean, let's use someone like Lex.
Sure.
Lex Veldhouse is an example. The guy's out there streaming nonstop. Numbers are off the charts when he's on Twitch. He's a phenomenal player to go alongside of that, and he's busting his ass to do so, right? And I know he's a PokerStars guy. I know he's got a deal in place, but if you really want to be known, if you really care about that sort of thing, and by the way, I love Bryn, I love Kuhn, right? And the Chidwicks of the world. Good dudes, amazing players, best in the world. But if you really care and want to be known and well known to the mass audience, you have to put yourself out there. The onus is on you. If you don't care about it, then who cares? But you also can't come to the table and be upset that you're not being recognized, right? You can't come to the table and say, oh, I want to be on ESPN. Well, okay, great. Well, then you got to show up and play, right? So I think it goes both ways. Does that answer your question?
Yeah, it absolutely does. Joey, you were on the call for a heads-up challenge between two of the, I would say the biggest names of the game, maybe the correct phrase is best players in the game, when Limitless took on Fedor in that GG challenge. What was that experience like for you? Do you think we'll see more of these quick hits in the future, these kind of 4-round heads-up challenges?
Yeah, I just want to say also, go back to what you said. If you're a popular poker player out there and you feel like you have some talent, you're a personality, you want to get yourself out there, you want to get well known, you get in touch with me, okay? Because I'll help you out.
There we go.
That's it, my man. That's the Don King we
Listen,
know.
man.
There he
a
is.
lot of these people, like it's a formula, right? And a lot of people don't understand it's a formula. And you talked about Lex Veldhouse, like having support from PokerStars, not only financially, but also just to have that in the back of your pocket, them to pick you up when you're feeling down, them to bring in community for you and have a team around you. Those things can't be discounted. So I think those are real important things. And I mean, it's shaping up to be real interesting what's happening out there, guys, with the content stuff going on. And, with like the heads up challenges, WSOP is coming back. I know there's a few other events kind of coming in the mix as well, too. So I don't know ultimately where things go, because I feel like we don't really have a way to like track, who's good, who's bad, like is this guy still good? Is Phil Ivey still the, it's like you can't, like when I'm going on Twitch, right, and I'm going through the directory, I don't know who a lot of these guys are. I'd like to know more about them. I don't know who the fuck they are. Mm-hmm. I just see a bunch of names in there. They all look the same to me. You click on them, it's all the same thing. So it's real hard to differentiate between like who's who or what's going on or anything like that. So, and I mean, maybe no one cares. I don't know. Maybe no one cares who the winners or losers are, right? Like, I don't know how any of the Twitch streamers are doing, because no one really ever shares their results. So it's like they just kind of show up and play. And, I don't know. I guess that's how people do it right now. Some of the vloggers maybe are more transparent about how they're doing with those things. So, there's a bunch of ideas. But overall, I think poker's in a pretty good spot right now. I think Twitch is going to be booming. I think, those guys are working so hard. That's it so hard. Grind 7-8 hours a day playing poker, having to talk to people, look at a camera and a light in your face. And when you're not feeling good, you got to put on a show. And when you're feeling like shit, people in the chat are going to give you shit. So you got to, you know what I'm saying? Like you got to be kind of psychopath to be able to want to do something like that all the time. So, I don't know, man. Go back to your original question, Jeff. You want to give me that question one more time? I was kind of finishing up.
Yeah, just give me the breakdown of what you saw between Fedor and Limitless.
Oh yeah. So basically, Fedor and Limitless. Yeah. They played on GG Poker, and where you could see we had the cameras for each player. Mm-hmm. So it's just different. I did commentary for that for 4 sessions, I think it was. I don't know. It didn't seem like the players really gave a fuck. So if the players are playing and don't care, it's really hard for anyone else watching to care. And I think that was something that we saw about Daniel Negreanu versus Doug Polk, is like both of those guys really seemed like they cared to win. Like Doug Polk's like, I can't lose to this guy, otherwise I can't show my face ever again in public, right? And Dan Negreanu was like, yeah, I don't think I can beat this guy, but I really want to beat this fucking guy. So when you're playing, you felt the emotion behind the hands. They went down, the swings. You're like, you see Daniel, he's ranting afterwards. Doug's like, going through the swings of playing poker 3 months straight. Whereas like with Fedor and Limitless, Limitless is like 3 tabling. He's like, I want higher action the entire time, right? So it's like, well, why don't we show the higher action? You know what I mean? So I think just tweaking the format, maybe from different players, figuring out something different. But I think things like that could work. There's a lot of ideas I think that could work. It just maybe depends on who's playing and what the stakes are for. And yeah, like maybe a personal rivalry. Like we don't really have like Bryn Kenney versus Phil Galfond's not a rivalry in poker. Phil Galfond is a nice guy. Like has an open challenge to anyone basically at PLO to come play him in town. He's not a hard guy to fucking find if you really want to find the guy. So you can criticize the guy for his trading site, right? Or his poker site, GG, Run It Once versus GG. I think GG Poker has a lot bigger backing, a lot bigger team, a lot different structure, a lot different people that are behind the project with a lot more experience in the industry. And those guys are fucking animals, right? Whereas Run It Once, they're, these guys they're not in that same tier in terms of what they're doing. So I think to come out and, criticize that, I don't see the point. Like, what do you trying to put the guy down for what? The guy's a legend of the game, but whatever. I don't know. It's how some people
last
do it.
I
like
checked
Bryn,
too, Joey. I mean, correct me if
Yeah.
I'm wrong. Let's stick again with Bryn and Galfond. Galfond, this is an open challenge to the world. He's accepted all these matches. He's played Chance. Who else has he played? He played Veni Vidi. Whatever. You get what I'm saying. The best players in the world, Galfond steps up and he plays. Bryn calls out Phil Hellmuth. Okay, I'm not trying to throw shade at Phil Hellmuth here, but I mean, throws out Phil Hellmuth, and then Galfond shows up, wants to play, sort of backs off of that. No challenge accepted. Let's transition now over to this new guy, and I'm going to ask you about some fresh new faces that maybe we don't know about. MJ Gonzalez. He challenged Ike Haxton. Apparently they're going to play. Dan Smith. They're going to play. And he called out Phil Ivey on our show a few weeks ago, and he wants to challenge Phil Ivey. I mean, this guy's calling out some of the biggest names. Yeah, I guess apparently everyone wants Ivey, which is weird. I thought Ivey was still Ivey. Where I'm going with this is
everybody wants the clout, Brent. Everyone wants. They all want that. They all want to get a little piece,
little
of the attention,
taste,
right?
just a
IV,
little taste.
Let me get that. Let me get that drug in my system, right? They're all trying to get it pumped in right now. It's trendy right now in poker to kind of get out there and do that. So it makes sense.
Yeah. Let's go here to some of these new faces because we talk about marketing and some of these players that have deals. You're good friends with I call him my nephew, Landon Tice, 21-year-old. Whether or not he's the offspring of Kathy Liebert is TBD, but Landon Tice. All right. This kid has got an appetite as far as he wants to succeed. He wants to be one of the best, if not the best, at poker. And I love his attitude. Just so positive, never says anything negative, puts himself out there, writes blogs, talks to the people, very open. And I know he just signed with our buddies over at Solve for Why. Give me your thoughts on a young American, 21-year-old kid out of Florida, Landon Tice. Can this kid make it? Will he be a superstar in poker?
100%, Brent. Listen, I mean, I met this kid in my DMs. We have like a throwback first message he ever sent to me, this real long message. He basically said, he's like, I want to become the best poker player in the world. I was like, well, you sent me like a 25 paragraph message. I'll fucking help you out. Right. So, and then, I mean, this kid works so hard. He took a much different route than I took at poker, where this guy realized like, hey, why don't I just find really good coaches, find people that are going to put me into these games who will also help me get better at that. And just work my ass off every single day, come out every single day, plays every single day, thinking about the game, studying the game, working on his game. So I think that number one, you need to have the desire and the determination and the ability to overcome ups and downs and deal with attention and deal with success and all these things like that. And I think so far, I mean, I'm pretty close to him. We talk all the time. His birthday was yesterday. Happy birthday to Landon, 22 years old officially.
Oh, 22. Happy birthday, Landon. Did not know that.
21 anymore. But I mean, I feel like the support system he has around him in place is going to be great. I think doing coaching and working with Berkey and working to Solve for Why, because, I think they're really good friends. Landon's living over there right now. And, shout out to those guys over there. I think they're putting up some great content. I'm kind of maybe worried that, those are distractions. And that's something you got to worry about as you start to gain more status and as you start to gain more attention for yourself, or you're making money. And then everyone wants a piece of you. They want to be around you. They want to date you. They want to hang out with you. They want to go golfing with you. It can start to add up really fast, all those requests on your attention. So the more you spread yourself out, then the less focused and the less kind of mentally stable sometimes you might be able to be. So I think as he starts adding on more things to his plate, starts getting more attention, you never know what kind of offers are going to get thrown your way. So we'll sort of see how he deals with that. And I personally think he's going to be able to he's going to want to take on anyone. Maybe him and Bryn Kenney should play, right? We talked about Bryn Kenney. He wants to play someone. Maybe he takes on, Landon. I think Bryn Kenney is a credible character for poker. I've always enjoyed the guy. I think the guy's a funny guy, right? I've been on the podcast a few times. I always really like talking to the guy. So he just has a different style, different approach. And I think that's what makes poker so fun is you get these different characters, right? Like I want to see more of Bryn Kenney. I want to see more of Jason Kuhn. I want to see more of, these players who are some of the best players, some of the most winning players, some of the guys who are the biggest fucking degenerates playing the highest stakes. So, I'm all for those kind of guys coming out and saying things, whether I agree or not. I mean, it's entertaining, right? And I think that's, what you look for in media is you want people that are gonna play ball, right? Gonna buy in, gonna put on a show. And that's why Hellmuth's Hellmuth, because the guy was in a trench coat in 2002 throwing cards at a fucking camera talking about hands that you should fold pre-flop, and he called it a black belt strategy and a green belt strategy, right? So like, the guy isn't accidentally here on Poker Go playing the duel against Dan Negreanu. It's not like, oh, how did this happen? It's the guy's been working for 30 years to get to this point and be able to maintain this point and be able to have people even interested to watch him play. So there's a lot more that goes into it than just like, oh, this guy's here, he showed up, like he wins, he says he's good. There's a lot of other things that kind of go into it.
So speaking of putting on a show, I think that last question and answer leads us perfectly into this next challenge, Landon Tice against Bill Perkins. Joey, in your opinion, does a challenge like that, does it have a chance to stand out with no, I would say, star power? And that's no disrespect to Landon or Bill. I think Landon is a potential superstar in this game like we just discussed. But as of right now, does a Tice versus Perkins match draw interest from the majority of poker fans?
Good question. I mean, I don't know, man. I think it all is going to come down to how involved maybe I am in the challenge and maybe other people are in the challenge, right? Because like a lot of these things are really a community effort. So if like I'm streaming it, I'm watching, I'm playing it, I bring commentators on, but no one else seems to care, then no one's really going to care. So sometimes those are serendipitous moments that happen where, they all come together. Sometimes you organize moments like that. Sometimes people just decide they want to step up and kind of watch it and support it and be a part of it. It's kind of coming at a weird time where it's going to be summer and, we got no World Series this year. So people may be looking to get outside and adventure. And my man, Bill Perkins, I mean, this is the busiest fucking guy I know. So to think this guy's going to stick with his schedule, like, I don't know. So we're still trying to iron out the specifics. We were talking with Landon about that last night, like whether the specifics going to be for this challenge with you and Bill. So it does look like Bill wants to play. Will it have the same draw? I mean, that's going to depend on how those guys, how involved they are, right? I mean, you saw Doug Polk and Daniel, they're giving interviews afterwards. Daniel's like ranting like a psychotic person. Doug is kind of ranting like a psychotic person occasionally too, right? You know what I mean? So it's like, can anything replicate the buzz and like the just like fucking excitement I felt personally and from other people during the Doug Polk versus Dan Negreanu challenge? I don't think so anytime soon, because that built up over years and like, they're arguing, they're
There's a goddamn billboard in front of the Rio, Joey.
Right.
A billboard in front of the Rio for the World Series of Poker
nuts,
for everyone
man.
to see. I mean, yeah, that was the most deep-rooted, exciting. God damn, that matchup was crazy. Yeah, so, no, yeah, Jeff,
So how involved do you think you'll be, Joey? I know you just mentioned you had some discussions last night, but do you see yourself commentating for a majority of the challenge?
Oh yeah, I think so, man. I think I got to get in the mix for that a little bit. Yeah, definitely kind of be involved somehow with those two playing. Hopefully they play on some sort of organized schedule where we could show up and let the fans know what's going on and say, hey, we'll be here. Let's back up the truck. Let's get after it. Let's see some magic here. But it does sound like we got a lot of heads up going on, as you mentioned, right? You talking about MJ, who's kind of broken on the scene, and he's calling out. I like his style, right? Calling out Ike, calling out Dan Smith, right? He's not backing down, that's for sure. Calling out Phil Ivey, right? I mean, at least the guy's willing to step up to the plate and play some actual really good players here.
We are working, by the way. I mean, if you can work with Bill and Landon on this, and I've messaged both of them, I just need details on this match. I would love to get them in the studio so we can play a day live on Poker Go.
Let's make sure we get that.
I mean, can we? I just need a little help. I mean, I can't just use a magic marker.
We got to get Bill in this, man.
Just a little organization, Joey. That's all that's needed. Yeah,
I agree. I feel like we're close. We're close. This is a Don King. We're close, right?
Come on, Don.
We're gonna make this match happen. Okay,
Let's go,
I want to
baby.
see this match happen.
We are going to see some interesting matches happen over the next couple of months, both in boxing and in UFC. In boxing, this Saturday, we have Jake Paul taking on Ben Askren, retired UFC fighter. That is weird. In a couple months in boxing, we have Evander Holyfield fighting Kevin McBride.
Sure.
You might remember McBride from that Tyson McBride fight, maybe the Pizza Hut stuffed crust commercials for Kevin McBride. Joe, your thoughts on these random boxing matches that just kind of come up out of the blue, and we see the Paul brothers, and we see Ben Askren, and we see Holyfield, we see Roy Jones Jr., et cetera, et cetera.
Yeah, I mean, I think those are basically being created by people that have a lot of influence in that industry. They're like Triller's kind of coming together, and Triller has investors who are invested in Triller, who are sponsored or influencers with Triller. So they're just firing hard to put on these events. And I think Ben Askren, I mean, the guy's taken on like 6 sponsors this week. And as someone who's been talking with a lot more sponsors lately, maybe this guy's obviously just doing this for money. So he looks at himself as like, I have a limited amount of time to maybe take advantage of this platform I built off the UFC. This guy's going to fight me. He's going to pay me millions of dollars. I'm going to add 5 sponsors onto my show. And, you know, I don't know, maybe that's the way he's going. Jake Paul, this guy's a fucking marketing genius, clearly. This guy turned himself into a boxer from a YouTuber, works out every day, got jacked, works with the top, like Jorge Masvidal. He's like training with him. I mean, I think this guy's gonna be one of the biggest stars in the world. Like you gotta like have like a psychotic love of attention to do what these guys are doing and be able to deal with all a bunch of negativity and positivity that comes your way. So I think that once again, going back to what we said initially, it's like these people are looking to make money. They can get a lot of spotlight. They can get a lot of attention. They can support their friends and family that are around them because they get to bring them with them on these adventures. Their advertisers or sponsors are happy because they're getting exposure. They're willing to pay more money for that. So there's a lot of financial incentive all around for the corporations, for the talent, for anyone who wants to sort of like, you know, use whatever that event is to get clout for themselves. And like a lot of people are going to talk about it because that's what they do on Twitter is they just fucking talk about popular people, right? Like, oh, someone popular's going, let's put them down. Let's talk shit about them. Let's make a joke. Let's make a meme. Let's try to make ourselves feel better off of this other person, whatever. So I think these guys have a perfect recipe for success, man. And we're only going to see more of these fights as they make millions of dollars and as they are very successful.
What do you think about the Paul brothers popping up everywhere? I mean, Logan Paul just took a stunner at WrestleMania over this last weekend. It's like there is some kind of marketing genius.
Wait, a stunner? Was Stone Cold there?
No, it's Kevin Owens, and he tries to replicate the stunner, and it's not the same thing. But that would have been amazing.
I'm all about it, man. I think it kind of reminds me, as you guys were talking about this, it reminds me of what we're seeing in a way with poker, right? I mean, what if we brought back these iconic matchups where all of a sudden Doyle steps into the ring and he plays Bryn Kenney? It's like, wait, what the hell just happened? And now you got Jake Paul actually fighting, you know, a former UFC star. And that it's, you know, the marketing is on point. Someone like me who barely even pays attention to this stuff, I'm going to buy this fight. You know, I bought the Nate Robinson fight. I got the Mike Tyson fight, but I don't get every single UFC or
you don't
every
get the
other
Terrence Crawford fight,
right?
Though,
like
the
I
actual
don't
title fights.
I come to your house once in a while to watch that, but for these sorts of shows, like I'm in. You know, it works for a sucker like me.
Boys, are we doing? What do you guys? Can we go to Cirque and watch this? Can we watch?
Please.
Fill us in. Shout out to our friends at Circa because they offered to hook all of us up with a spot, man. And then it's I mean, your wife was having a baby, so
all my fault.
I don't think we need to place blame anywhere. But Joey, you took a trip there, and I've been there once or twice, or more than once or twice before. But kind of fill us in on that sportsbook atmosphere, that stadium swim atmosphere that they have.
Oh yeah, it was
pretty
cool.
Sweet.
Yeah, we got set up with like a nice little table there in the main sportsbook area, one of the biggest sportsbook. But yeah, it was great. Got shown around there. The stadium swim outside is incredible with the space and with the people, with the sun, with the TV, with the DJ, and then the actual sportsbooks downstairs is a real great experience just in terms of like sitting down there with the stadium style seats. And I don't know, man, that place is pretty nice, right? Downtown Vegas. We got some nice places in downtown Vegas, like Golden Nugget's pretty nice, but it's very rare you get to see like a real fancy sort of adult only hotel being built downtown Fremont Street where all the chaos is and all that kind of stuff is. So I really enjoyed the property. I thought the guys in the sports book, you know, they got a different approach to things and they seem to want to take care of customers and not want to close people out of bets if they want to bet too much money, with a lot of sports books do. If you're a sharp better or winning better, they just say, fuck you, you can't bet that much money. So it seems like these guys are trying to take a different stance to it and trying to attack the sports betting industry differently. And man, it seems like sports betting is going to real boom. You know, I was talking to Brent about the show, what you guys are doing. I think this is a phenomenal idea because sports betting is only going to get more and more and more and more and more and more popular. And yeah, man, people love talking about it. So why not?
Well, we got to
give them
get to.
next
I
week?
mean,
You guys
shit.
can.
Yeah, we're obviously total degenerates, but I mean, let's make Circa happen. I know we just missed on the NCAA tournament and then with the Masters because we decided to have a kid. But we'll do it. We got to make sure this happens. It sounds like a total blast. We'll bring producer John in the back.
Yep.
This guy's on fire. We'll bring him with us and we'll film all around inside Circa. We'll have ourselves a ball and a biscuit.
So we're really only bringing John because he's on fire with his picks.
Yeah,
If you
we
wanna
just
copy
need
this,
John's
okay.
expertise, really. I want to win
works.
money this time,
Yeah.
unlike the last debacle.
Can we feature another Joey Ingram flashback on this very show?
You know what? Let's
Oh,
bring
no.
that in, Joey. We got another
Yeah.
little taste for you, and then we're going to get to a little trivia.
So we saw you on Major Wager. We also saw you on the Hit game show. I think
Right.
it's been well documented as the best game show in the history of the universe, The Big Blind. Let's take a look at this clip. Joey has the button for this one. Jamie is in the small blind. Jared is in the big blind. Let's take a look at this hand's category.
Limit Omaha, please.
Yeah.
What is this?
We knew
What
this
kind of
would
rigged ass
not-
question is that? Hold a math? What a 2-card pot limit Omaha, man.
Of course, sticky rice. Of course I know this. Raise. This guy Sticky Rice used to stream on Twitch and would yell this out every time he got a pocket pair. If he's wrong, he might actually be wrong, so I could be wrong with my answer here. Fuck. I might be wrong here. Fucking knew it. God damn it, man. I fucking should have went with the goddamn demographics on YouTube. I'm embarrassed. I'm embarrassed. That hand is embarrassing.
Oh,
There it
and there
is.
it is. There it is. Joey Ingram, Jamie Kerstetter. And was Jared Jaffe there, or was that just a still image?
that was just an amoeba that showed up in the studio. Yeah, just there. He lost pretty miserably, right?
yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, he acted pretty
Yeah, he was
miserably.
not happy. He
Yeah.
lost that final Jeopardy hand, and he was done. Yeah,
He was pretty bummed out. So, Joey, now it is time for you to redeem yourself for the Big Blind appearance. You didn't quite nab that championship, but here we go with a couple trivia questions, not just for you, maybe for Brent as well, and maybe for the people in the chat as well. We have 3 questions and then our grand finale of the day, a video question. So, first question to you. Let us see it right now. All right, some World Series of Poker history. Which country is second to the United States of America in number of WSOP bracelets? Joey, you remember this one?
Was this a question I actually previously had?
Yes, it was.
Did he get it wrong, Jeff?
Yes, he did.
Yes, he did.
Oh, I did it wrong. Okay, what did I say? What
Let's
country-
get it wrong again.
What country is second? Okay, I just looked at a chart the other day. Australia, Brazil, Germany, no. UK makes most sense. Canada, maybe. No, Canada's probably not. Maybe too easy. It's a trick question, isn't it?
And I'm going to
It's
give you a
not-
little bit of a hint, because when we revealed the answer to you on the Big Blind, you said, "Oh, you know, my YouTube demographics show that."
Oh, UK.
Blank.
And
Brent,
by the
what
way,
is your
well,
guess?
I mean, I'm going to let the chat weigh in here a little bit too. If we got more countries pouring in, Joey's going UK.
Yeah.
I'm going to go. It can't be Canada. Nobody wins in Canada. They don't play the World Series. All right, I'll go with Joey. I'll go with the UK. I'll ride it. Let's go.
Okay, you guys are going UK, and there's a bit of a delay between us and the chat, but we still want those guesses to roll in, and they are. And the chat seems to be saying Canada.
They're going
Jim
Canada.
in Berlin. And why would they go Canada? Perhaps that is because Canada is correct.
Unbelievable.
Joey, you are 0 for 2 on this very question. Brent, you are now 0 for 1, although you were in the room when we came up with the question.
Yeah, I actually think I knew the answer and still got it wrong.
Okay, question number 2 for both of you. Roulette originated in what country? Joey.
France.
Joey says France. Brent?
Sounds like a French word.
Yeah, no, it was also a confident answer from Joey.
I'll go with Belgium.
Gonna go with Belgium.
Yeah, Belgium.
For roulette.
Yeah.
Let's go ahead and see what the correct answer is, and that answer is, yeah, it's France. Joey,
Wow.
you might remember from the Big Blind. I believe you said, "quote I have no fucking idea" when we asked you that question. So you got it. You got a bit of an idea there, and you were able to get that one right. All right, question number 3. We're gonna take you back to the Hold'em math streets, which you love to see. What % chance do you have to flop a set when you have a pocket pair?
All right, so I'm pretty sure you guys cheated in this answer and said it was 13. It's 13%.
Oh,
Is
we
that
had a
what it is?
little
I
bit
thought
of
it was
controversy
12%, and
surrounding
you guys said
this,
it's
right?
13 according to some new type of math I think you had going on here.
Producer John, he's in the back. John, is that true? Did we screw him out of this one? Mm-hmm.
Uh-oh.
John is saying
Okay.
the decimal
Okay.
points were.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's
Our
exactly what it
answer is Joey says 13, and you say what?
I'll go 13.2%.
13.2. Yeah, our answer is approximately 12%.
Oh my God! What?
Son of a bitch.
What?
Joey, I believe you said
Get outta
11
here.
on the first show that we
Oh
did.
my gosh! Did I really get this wrong? Oh
Yeah.
my gosh!
I mean,
dude.
not once, but twice. All right.
Wow,
I
I see
mentioned
13
redeeming
and 11.
yourself.
Oh.
How about now for our video
Oh, a little video.
question as we take you back to the 2018 Super
No.
High Roller Bowl and
No,
this
don't be
iconic
the Fedor hand.
between Fedor Holtz and
No.
Justin Bonomo.
Queen, maybe with the queen of clubs. That's a pretty. That's ambitious. Hopeful, but it's in there. So troublesome for Holtz as of course Bonomo can have hands like ace ace, king king, probably with a club, queen queen, club. Does Holtz put a raise in now?
Bonomo versus Fedor in a sit cooler spot. What does Fedor do here? Does he call? Does he raise to 390K? Or does he raise to 520K? Send in your answers, please. This was that lovely slow roll hand. But what does he do in this spot, Joey? Does he call or does he make a raise? If he does, which size does he choose, 390K or 520K?
I think this one's 390.
Okay, going to go with 390. Brent?
Lock
If I
in
remember
390
correctly.
as well. Yeah.
Brent says lock in 390. The correct answer? Well, let's play it out.
He does go to 390.
Bam.
Go. There
The
we
brakes
go.
on this train
Stack this fucking hand here.
don't work. Bonomo will just call with his ace king of clubs.
It's amazing. I mean, I know we're not going to finish that hand, but
Right.
by the way,
Slow roll.
Joey, congratulations. You've completely redeemed yourself for the most
You learned
part.
something from your big blind appearance.
But, I mean, you think back to that hand, that was a total slow roll by Justin Bonomo on
Yeah.
Fedor, and Fedor just got up from the table with his arms up in the air. Like, what?
what?
What are you doing? What took you so
That
long?
stare
You
that he
know,
gave
yeah,
Bonomo.
like because Bonomo is not exactly notorious for playing snug at these
Yeah.
stages of high roller. It's like the dude can punt with the best of them, and for him to just like tank in that spot, like my God, yeah. All right,
Joey, before we let you go, what are you working on in the moment? I know you are always in the lab. Where can we see you pop up next?
Oh man, you can. Well, I'm in crypto streets right now. So
Oh,
I started-
baby.
are you doing that right now? Are you grinding crypto?
I'm studying the Chinese central digital bank currency right now. So I'm studying what are going to connect all these blockchains and all these central digital banks together. So we are basically trying to run up in crypto, Brent. We're trying to get to 8 figures in crypto, and then we're going to take the money that we have after we make sure that we're good, and we're going to sponsor as many people in poker as we can, and we're going to run it the fuck up and back.
Oh
in
my
poker. So
God, 8
that's
figures?
that's the goal. Wait, let me think. 6, 7, 8 figures. Yeah, I wanted to. Yeah, that's what we're trying to run up to. So we don't. I
And
don't know
these
how
are the
long that
Chinese
takes.
markets.
Huh?
I'm taking
No,
notes
no,
here. These are the
that-
Chinese
that's
markets.
That's more like a big picture, like world finance in terms of what the. I mean, this is like a different kind of podcast, but yeah, I'm basically studying what the world policymakers are doing right now in order to see what the hell is going to happen potentially with regulation for Bitcoin and for other cryptocurrencies, and then figure out which companies that are creating solutions on the blockchain are going to be the main companies that are going to be used in all these different industries, and then you can invest in the infrastructures of those industries on the blockchain. So
Real quick,
that's what
did
we're
you
studying right now.
did you end up learning Mandarin, by the way? Because I feel
No,
like this could be
no,
useful.
Well, I wish I did now, obviously, right? But no, I not yet. I'm still learning it.
Oh, yeah.
So who gets to $1 billion first then, Joey? You or Hellmuth? Because Hellmuth
No,
has told us
7,
multiple
8
times.
figures is like no,
10 mil.
a billion. I mean, you have a billion.
What?
You got to like you got to meet some.
First,
real
you got to go
crazy
9 and then 10
Yeah,
figures.
yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely.
Like you got to be friends with guys like Shamath who are posting, shirtless photos of themselves in their gymnasium.
Shamath
So,
is
like,
pretty ripped.
I had no
Surprisingly
idea.
ripped.
He's got like weird tats
it's-
and stuff too. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, he's getting after it, man. That guy's an animal. You know what
Okay.
I mean? Like him and Hellmuth, those guys are animals. So they're all getting after it every day.
That guy works. Follow Poppy on Twitter at Joe Ingram1. Of course, youtube.com/Joe Ingram1, and follow him on Instagram as well. Joey, thanks so much for coming on with us. Really appreciate the time as always.
Love it, Poppy. Talk soon, my man.
Great talking to you, boys. See you soon.
All right, there he goes. That is Joe Ingram at Joe Ingram1.
Don King, baby.
Don King,
Ultimate
like
promoter.
that.
Like he's so good at that.
But yeah.
Really,
I mean,
he's great.
he can get you fired up for a match that you aren't even that familiar with to begin with. Well, Brent, now we have to talk about the Masters.
Oh yeah, let's really get fired up with this. God damn it.
We have to relive the Masters, and it was a brutal Masters for us. It was a little bit brutal on the weekend for Justin Rose. Rose jumped out to a 4-shot lead. You saw him going off at about plus 350 or so, and then from there it was the Hideki Matsuyama show, and Hideki just did not let up over the last couple days.
No, he was he was a total robot. He was unstoppable, unflappable. Amazing performance by Hideki. By the way, I believe it was in I'm going to get the year wrong, so I won't even say it, but Hideki also won the U.S. Junior Masters Championship in Augusta years back. So he's got tons of experience on that course. Yeah, I mean, amazing for the country of Japan, obviously, their first golf major, let alone the Masters. And how about those airport pictures where he just shows up in Atlanta on a public flight heading back to Tokyo, jacket just draped over his shoulder? You got to love that.
Yeah, he's just out at 6 a.m. the next day.
Never a
Beautiful
doubt.
thing with that green jacket. Before we get to our cards, we can let you know that producer John's card did have Hideki Matsuyama.
How does he
bet
do
him on Friday night. Bet him after round 2. A little live betting action. Got him at 18-1. That is a spike. Can we take credit for that? We should have taken.
We
credit.
should. I mean, we call him producer John, but the fact of the matter
we
is,
should.
it's Vegas Dave back there. You know,
Oh, no,
how do you do
not
it?
Vegas
How
Dave.
do you do it? It just
No,
wins.
just-
All we hear about are producer John's winners.
Does never lose.
Yeah.
All right, we got to look at our cards now. Brought to you by our friends at DraftKings Sportsbook. I guess we will start with mine, and we see Jordan Spieth actually did make a run at it. Just couldn't quite get there on Sunday. Rory McIlroy, remember when he was like good at golf?
Remember, he used to be a golfer.
Oh man,
Yeah.
it said Bryson got in his head, and man, you can tell. Adam Scott made the cut at least. Same cannot be said for Carlos Ortiz. I had a couple of matchups as well, and this is just ugly, folks. Paul Casey against Cameron Smith. Adam
Loser.
Scott against Corey Connors.
Loser.
Big loser. Patrick Reed had a good day one. That was my only bet that was winning after the first day, but of course ended up losing to Xander. And then Matt Kuchar to finish in the top 20. Cooch did not make the cut.
Loser.
Did you do any better?
Nah, well, let's bring it up. I mean, slightly, Jeff. Patrick Cantlay. I was all
Cantlay was
over
awful.
this guy, and he was. I mean, he other than Carlos Ortiz, your other pick, and Sung Jae, who I'll get to in a moment. I mean, you're talking about the 3 worst golfers that were on the course. I mean, you and I would have played better.
20-1.
Just unbelievable.
Yeah.
I mean, what happened? So many golfers, or so many bettors were on Cantlay. I thought Sung Jae was going to be the frickin' steal of the Masters. Awful. I mean, awful. I am never betting on him again.
Oh wow,
I'm done.
ever?
I am done betting on Sung Jae, at least until the RBC Heritage. But Tony Finau in contention. He had a shot. Love the sweat there. In fact, I double bet him on a couple days later. Corey Connors, I was all over. If he won, Jeff, I was going to retire. You were going to retire with me. I mean, we had all the money on the line with Corey Connors. What a sweat. At least I had a sweat. Unfortunately, everyone you see there, losers. They all lost.
That Corey Connors spike would have certainly been nice to you. Let's take you to the tracker. It is certainly ugly for me, but it's been ugly for me all year. At one point, Brent was up like 11 units or so.
Yeah.
It is fading.
Yeah. We're going to get back on it, though, now. I mean, we got real sports to focus on, like the Jake Paul fight. All right. I mean, real sports, Jeff. Okay. Right. And then apparently baseball started again. I guess we'll have to start watching that at night. Hockey's going. I got to start understanding what icing is. But yeah, if we want to bring that tracker up, that'd be awesome, producer John, because Betcoin is the only one doing some winning around here.
Had the Lakers against the Raptors last week, and that was just an easy coast to a win for Betcoin, who is now up 0.9 units. Our Betcoin pick coming up in just a minute. Our cards coming up in just a minute. But first, we want to remind you about our friends at
DraftKings.
Yeah. You have heard about DraftKings, the leader in daily fantasy sports. Paydays can come really every day by entering contests with huge cash prizes up for grabs. This week, Brent said it, it's just jam-packed with action. It's always jam-packed with action. You got your hoops, you got some golf. DraftKings has plenty of ways for you to have a front row seat to all of that action. Making a lineup on DraftKings adds excitement every night, and it's pretty easy to do. Even this guy, Brent Hanks.
I figured it out, and it's free to play,
He
Jeff.
can figure it
I'm
out.
there right now.
It is
Pools,
free to play.
contests, free to play.
You can draft your lineup and feel the sweat like never before. Every moment means more with the DraftKings lineup on the line. It's simple. Each player has a salary. You're playing the role of general manager. Assemble a lineup of players. Stay under your salary cap. Sit back and watch the points pile up. DraftKings has paid over $7 billion. That's $7 billion to users across all sports. Again, DraftKings, the leader in daily fantasy sports. There's no better place to get in on all of the action. Now that you know how to play, if you're outside of Nevada, download the DraftKings app and sign up using the code STAKES. Again, that is the code STAKES, STAKES.
Thank you for
New
spelling
users,
that.
you got it. We'll get a free entry with their first deposit. That is code STAKES, STAKES, to get a free entry with your first deposit. Only at DraftKings, minimum $5 deposit required. Eligibility restrictions apply. See DraftKings.com for details. We switch from DraftKings Daily Fantasy to the DraftKings Sportsbook, who is bringing our cards.
Bring them up, baby.
My
Let's
cards
bet.
first. Let us go with the LaMelo Ball less Hornets +1 against the Lakers. Just kind of like what I've seen as far as the line movement. Seems like the sharp money there.
What
is on
happened to
Charlotte.
LaMelo?
Fractured his wrist.
What?
Yeah.
Everybody's
out for the
hurt.
season. Yeah, that was a couple weeks ago, but yes, he did fracture.
What the guy for the Nuggets? What's his
Jamal
name?
Murray tore his ACL.
God, he's
That
going
was
to be out
awful.
2 years.
At the very end of the game, that was just absolutely awful. Terrible to see.
Sorry, keep going.
Robert Whitaker taking on Kelvin Gastelum in this weekend's UFC main event. And in next weekend's UFC main event, it is quite the card. Kamaru Usman taking on Jorge Masvidal. I'm going with an Usman-Valentina Shevchenko parlay. Sure, it is chalk as she is facing Jessica Andrade, but at -178, I still think there's some value there. We do have some golf this weekend. I do like Kevin Kisner kind of coming out of nowhere at 55-1. And then to win the most improved player in the NBA, how about Julius Randle? It's really a two-horse race between him and Jeremy Grant right now. I think the Knicks are going to make the playoffs. I think all eyes are on Julius Randle at this point. I think he is your most improved player, and it's certainly worth the price at -200. What you got for me?
Let's bring it up. Let's see old Hanksy's card. I like your picks, by the way.
Oh,
I
thank
think
you
I'm going to
very
get on
much. Well, that makes
Kistner,
me
and I'm
feel
also
terrible.
going to bet the Hornets as well.
Okay.
I'm going to get on there with you
Let's make
tonight.
magic happen.
All right. I have a lot of UFC, and I don't know who anybody is. All right. I'm just going to put it out there. I did a little digging, a little research. I talked to some sharp minds, Jeff, and here's what they came with. Espino.
Yeah, Espino.
Espino +115.
Okay.
I like that. Bet 100, get 115 back.
Great.
No
Thanks
brainer.
for the math.
Hall -112.
Uriah Hall.
I like the name better than Weidman. I'm going to go Hall.
Okay.
I mean, this is just simple for me. Allen. Well, my new son's middle name is Allen.
Easy.
My favorite quarterback in the NFL and player in the NFL and favorite maybe person ever is Josh Allen. No brainer. -134. Usman. Did not know he was -400 till right now, but apparently I am going to bet a massive favorite that is Usman -400. Why did I bet that? Well, he's on my card. Clearly, it's a great pick. I'm very, very well invested here. And I love Terrell Hatton, 2,200. He was sneaky in the Masters. He was sort of lingering there. He's playing really good golf. I'm actually pretty sharp with golf. I'm not joking, Jeff.
You were all over it on the Masters.
I'm sharp with golf.
Really.
I'm sharp with golf. And I love Daniel Berger, 2,300-1. One of these two going to bring home the bacon. And you can bet your ass I'm going to be betting on day 2 and on day 3 as we get towards the final day on Sunday.
And remember earlier today when you tried to bet both Brandon Allen and Carl Roberson, and we said that is not really a wise
hedging.
bet because they're just
I was
fighting
hedging,
each other.
Jeff. I mean, I had a better line here and there. I wanted to bet both sides.
You would just lose
hedging.
the juice. All right, shall we bring Betcoin into the mix?
Please, let's go.
Okay, let's do it. Let's take Betcoin to the land of the National Basketball Association. It's just going to be the first game I see, and that is the Clippers -3.5. -4 now at DraftKings Sportsbook. So
Just
that's
now?
what we'll go with. Yeah, Clippers -4 against the Pacers in Indiana. So Clippers as the favorite, they get heads. Pacers as the underdog, they get tails. Betcoin, what you got for us?
Up and at 'em.
Yep.
God, I almost dropped it. Heads.
Heads. There it is for the Los Angeles Clippers.
Clip show.
Take the Clips -4 in Indiana against
The pluribus
the
unum.
Pacers. Yes, that whatever. Got him.
Let's go, baby.
Okay, let's go. Punt of the week. at the Masters, and this was fantastic. This is Siwoo Kim. It's not fantastic for him. Getting a little frustrated on the course, and this is just the outright winner for punt of the week. Let's see
this
Siwoo.
is absurd. This is absurd. We're going to roll the clip.
Yeah.
Oh, God.
Not at the Masters.
He's 4 under,
Siwoo.
Jeff. He's one of the contenders
he's
to
in
win
it.
the Masters.
He's top 5
4
right
under.
there, and just totally destroys the putter. Has to putt with the 3-wood.
I will note,
rest
and this is a
of
little
the
tidbit,
yeah.
he two-putted every single green after breaking the putter. Maybe it was a slight improvement.
You know. He actually looks pretty good with the 3-wood. He almost rolled a couple of those in.
How do you do that? You're in contention to win the frickin' Masters, man. I mean, Jesus.
He felt the pressure.
Oh.
He felt the pressure. He felt the pressure. And then this, I love this. This happened a week or so ago. This is our never a doubt moment. And this is Shaquille O'Neal, the NBA Hall of Famer, now an analyst for TNT, just walking into a jewelry store. Seeing a guy who's discussing his engagement ring payment plan. And Shaq says, you know what? This on me.
What a nice guy.
I appreciate it.
You can tell this guy's so stunned.
You know, this is the first time. Every time you come in here, I always get on 30 minutes before you come in here.
Wow. And there it is. There it is, just Shaquille O'Neal just walking in like he does a decent amount. That one just happened to be.
Where the heck were you the last time I was in Zales,
Yeah,
Shaq? I could have used you 7 or 8 years ago.
That would, that's
you
what
might
I
need
take
it
away.
someday, Jeff.
Oh,
you should go shopping down in Florida.
Yeah, that'll happen. I think we're a couple steps away from the
one of these
engagement
Tinder
ring.
dates could be the one.
Could be. That's what you keep hoping for, folks.
Yeah.
It's going well so far, though.
Yeah, I'd like to have a little tracker on your Tinder dates, too.
We should.
That might be
We
worse
should
than your
maybe
results.
Track that. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, it depends how you look at it, I guess. Huh.
Yeah, Betcoin might get a date first. I mean, seriously, you should just take this thing with you. Put it in your pocket.
I've got
Put it in your pocket.
dates.
Take it
I've
with you
gotten
tonight.
dates.
Take it with you
I've
tonight.
gotten dates.
You going
It's
out
just the
tonight?
track
You gonna have a
record's
little rendezvous with the ladies?
You know what? I'm not sure if I'm going out tonight because, Brent, I am off to Houston tomorrow morning.
Oh,
we
baby doll.
are going to be at the Lone Star Poker Series. Brent is going to join me in a couple weeks for the main event and for a special edition of No Gamble, No Future 2 weeks from today. That will be taking place in Houston. You got your cowboy hat ready to go?
Oh, well, I have a little Stetson. I've got a little blazer I'm going to be wearing. I heard it's a little cold in the room we're going to be broadcasting from. So,
which would be the opposite of the room that we're in right now.
It's a little clammy.
It's a little warm.
It's a little clammy.
Just a little...
Reminder for folks, by the way, Jeff, next week on Tuesday, we're going to be off. It's going to be our first missed show. We're not going to be doing it. He's in Texas. I got another thing I got to do. We're going to be off next week. We're going to come back, No Gamble, No Future, on Tuesday, April 27th from the great state of Texas. If you're down there in the Houston area, come on over to Champion Social Club. We will be there. Love to have a beer. Shoot the shit, maybe bet a game. Apparently, we got a derby we can bet on.
Yeah, we have the Kentucky Derby that weekend. We do have a racetrack in Houston.
A little Clydesdale.
Just saying. Follow us on Twitter for more picks throughout these next couple weeks. He's at Buffalo Hanks. I'm at Jeff Platt. We are at NGNF Show. And as Ray said in the chat, I am married to the game.
Love that.
Yep.
Love that, Ray.
We'll see you next week on No Gamble, No Future. And by next week, I mean in 2 weeks. Thank you very much.
Thank
Bye-bye.
you, Jeff. Yeah, thank you for correcting that,
We'll see
Jeff.
you
In
guys.
2 weeks.
Okay,
Yes.
bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. Take care. We'll see you.